If it's a day called today, we're talking guitars and life.
Well, was it $75 well spent? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, man. Well, I want to talk about the Squier Black and Blue that I purchased for $75 on Marketplace, and I've done my thing to it, Jack. Well, man, if you hang on the channel, you've been on the adventure with me, and if this is your first time hanging out, welcome, man. Love to have you on any journeys you want to come and hang out with us at TED Talks Guitars and Life. You may remember that this guitar came into the shop looking something like this. We did it again, Jack. This is a very used, very played Squier style Strat guitar, man. Yeah, man, more stickers. Well, I'm a sticker remover aficionado now after my nephew's Squier, man. That turned out pretty good. I picked up this guitar for $75 on Marketplace, and I have done quite a bit to it. In this video, what I want to do is review the project plan, talk about the playability of the guitar now, what I think about this old Squier Strat, and at the very end of this video, man, I'm going to put some tone samples, and nobody, and I mean nobody, comes to TED Talks Guitars and Life to hear me play guitar. However, should you fancy a journey and checking out some tone samples, man, I'm going to put those at the very end of the vid. Well, this guitar, I took it apart. I did under the hood stuff. I documented all of that. It's in the playlist below called Squier Strat Black and Blue. And you can check that out. Everything I did to the guitar, step by step, down to the minutia of details. Man, it's a lot of videos. So if you're just starting out and you're buying used gear and fixing it up, or you're buying budget guitars and you're upgrading, so many of you have asked me, man, hey, can you slow your roll? Can you make a video of you doing just everything and make that available to us? I think that'd really be helpful for some of us. So I did just exactly that. And again, that playlist is in the description below. So this Strat came into the shop. It had the metal string trees on it, Jack, and I don't play that game. So these are Fender style rolling string guides. I'll put a link in the description below to everything I'm going to mention here so you can find it. If you want to go out and purchase these items, you can. If you want to use the affiliate links, you can. You don't have to do any of this. Nothing that I do on the channel is prescriptive to you, Jack. You do you in all things guitar. So, the tuners on this particular Squier Strat were some of the worst tuners that I've seen through the shop. It sounds like I say that in every video, but these were particularly bad, even though they were branded Squier on them. These are Safu, I think I'm saying that right, locking tuners. I've been putting these locking tuners on a lot of the guitars in the shop recently. They're available on the Zon. I didn't do anything to the nut. This is the stock nut that came with the guitar. I did take my file to the edges of these frets. They were not what I would call sharp, with the exception of the upper register here. But I don't like to feel a lot of rough frets when I play, so I took my file to it. And then, of course, I went looking for high frets. We found 5 or 6 high frets. We took a hammer to those, a rubber mallet is what I mean, and we were able to level all those frets. I then did a series of filing and, not filing, nope. Then I did a series of sanding these frets, got them all polished up really nicely. Yeah, man, again, guys, I'm not going to go into every detail of what grit sandpaper I use. You can go and watch the video in the playlist below if you want to see that journey. But we did polish the frets. We cleaned and conditioned the fingerboard on the back of the neck. I did sand that down just a little bit. put a layer of True Oil on there and one coat of Howard's Feed and Wax and buffed all that out and got her silky smooth. I do have one little dent in the back of the guitar. It's more like a divot. I plan to be addressing that at a later date, and I will of course document that journey when I take it. Electronics. I've replaced all the electronics in this guitar. The only thing stock to it is the output jack, the trim bridge, and the pick guard. Everything else is brand spanking new. These are the component parts from a Lamb Sam loaded pick guard. These are Alnico 5 single coil pickups. These are full size pots with an orange capacitor. This is a wafer IE blade switch, and I did put a pure tone output jack. String buttons, strap buttons are, nope. The strap buttons are the stock strap buttons. This is the original plate that was on the guitar when I bought it. Love that Dean Markley sticker. I used to do that to my guitars all the time back in the day. Stock neck plate and stock neck screws in this guitar. I did deck the trim in the trim cavity, man, so she is basically a hardtail kind of a situation. The guitar plays well. The neck, I like it. It's kind of a little bit thicker than a modern C to my old rock and roll hands, but it is super easy to play. Now that I've done the fret work, I can get up and around the neck with no problem. I really dig the rosewood board, man. I'm a rosewood board guy, so I'm feeling that all the way, man. It plays well. I've got my frets where I want them. Life is good. I've got my action where I wanted it. I trained this guitar up, man. She is intonated. She's a player, man. I think you can see what these pickups sound like in the tone samples. I'm just going to give you a little smattering of a little bit of just the old Vox amp, a little bit of compression, a little bit of boost, some verbiage now and again, some delay now and again, and the tubage screamer. So you can check that out. But it plays well. The guitar did have lots of dings and dents, and I did my best, guys. I really did. I did my best to at least level everything out with a couple of exceptions. There's a couple of places that are still a little wonky looking, and it just didn't turn out great. You can tell on camera that this area right here, again, if I pointed out to you, maybe if I didn't point it out to you, you wouldn't notice them as much. But I do have a desire to touch that up a little bit more. We'll see about that. Those of you who hang out on the channel are thinking, don't do it. Leave well enough alone. I don't know, guys. What do you think, man? How do you think she looks? I think it looks pretty good, man. But, you know, I'm a function over fashion guy. It's got a nice kind of resonant tone unplugged. You can learn a lot about a guitar just listening to it unplugged. And you can't change the heart of a guitar, what the guitar really sounds like. You can put pedals on it, you can throw ampage at it, but the reality, a guitar's tone is just a guitar's tone, and you really can't change that. So, I'll say this too. I mentioned this when I did my nephew's Squier Strat, that I really enjoyed working on the Squier. It was receptive to all of the upgrades that I did. Now be careful. Those of you who are buying parts to upgrade, just measure everything before you purchase parts. If you buy genuine Fender parts, they may or may not fit on a Squier. Squier uses more of an international measurement than the American Fender measurements would be. I'll just give you a minor example of that. So I originally wanted to put either the white pickguard covers and knobs and switch tip on this that came with the guitar, just to keep that keep that blue and white look. Shout out to my dear brother, Plenty O Bass, my dear friend Sean. He was suggesting black. I happen to have some black Fender, American-made Fender pickup covers that were black. Well, guess what, guys? Neither the black Fender pickup covers nor the white ones that were on this fit these Lam Sam pickups. So just be aware of that. That sometimes just because it looks like that cover doesn't mean that it's going to line up with the magnets through the holes. And so sure enough, I had to. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek. I really wanted to use the blue and the cream, but at the end of the day, I had to, even though my wife preferred the blue and the white. And I was going to keep it blue and white for my baby, but anyway, we went a different way with all that. So yeah, man, the guitar plays well. It feels good. It feels like a Strat. It's just about a full-size thickness. It's 1.7 instead of 1.75. And guys, I have no idea what this guitar is. The serial number is nowhere on this guitar. There was a bit of something on the heel of the neck, but I couldn't make it out at all. It was like it had red, like a red stamp, some letters and numbers, but then somebody had taken either a very thick Sharpie or some black paint and kind of painted over it. It was very strange to me. So the best I can tell, though, what gives this guitar away to me is that this is a 3/16 truss rod. It is not a 4mm truss rod in there, and so that kind of gave it away. There were Squiers that were made in Mexico in the 1998-ish time frame, and what happened was I believe there was some kind of a fire or something in the Fender factory in California, and so they made some Squiers in Mexico for a very short period of time. And I think this is one of those. I can't be sure because there's no serial number. But what gives it away to me, one is the 3/16 truss rod that we got going in there. Is this some unicorn 1998 made in Mexico Squier? I don't know. It does seem to be aged. It feels kind of old. The other thing is that in the neck pocket has what they call mouse eared in the neck pocket. That means that at the ends of in the neck pocket down here on the corners, it's rounded out instead of square. And according to the best research that I could make, in some guitars that were made in Mexico, they used the mouse neck pocket. And my understanding is that it's not exactly common with a Squier. In fact, it's not very frequently found in a Squier. But like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie about where it was made, because the truth is I don't know. Yeah, man, I think for 75 bucks and some parts, man, it's a great guitar. These saddle screws were some of the most rusty saddle screws I've ever seen. I could barely get them out to clean them. Every screw on this guitar really was rusty. The tuners weren't really rusty, but everything down here, I don't know if somebody had spilled something. I don't know if it was underwater. I mean, I don't really know, man, but the funk and the grime on this thing was just crazy to me. But at the end of the day, man, 75 bucks. I put a $45 loaded pick guard. I put in like a $8 output jack. I spent about, I don't know, $30 on the tuners and the rolling guides there. So I think it's definitely worth what I put into it. And again, man, just the way it plays, the way it feels, I like it. I think it's a great guitar, man. See, that's the thing to me. If you start out at $75, upgrades, man, you know, man, if you go out and you buy a guitar and it's $200 and then you start upgrading parts, man, you're going to get up there pretty high pretty quick. But when you start at the rock bottom of $75, although I had dings and dents and some issues, yeah, good bones are good bones. A good body and a good neck, and it just feels sturdy. I like the way this guitar feels. I think a cheap Squier on the marketplace, man, you can find them all over for $100. And maybe you want to do that and throw some parts in it. Maybe you want to slide over to T's and buy an ST1 for $145. That'll come with a lot of the parts that you would upgrade to, man. But I don't know. I dig it. I like it. Would I do it again? Absolutely, I would, man. If I could find another $75 Squier Strat, I would pick it up in a minute, Jack, and upgrade it. Great guitars out of the used market, man. And you got to know how to do a little something to it, right? You're going to have to probably know how to deal with some sharp fret ends. You're going to need to know how to level and polish frets. You're going to need to just, you know, purchase a few parts, man, more than likely. But hey, everything in guitar playing, and guys, I'm saying everything with guitar playing is player preference. So you do you. Get the gear you want to get, man. Don't let anybody rent any space in your head about a brand on a headstock or anything like that. Look, if a guitar sounds good to your ears, it feels good to your hands, and when you see it, you want to say, all right, man, let's hang out for a minute. That's a great guitar, man. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Man, what a journey this old Squier has been, man. Wherever you are in your guitar journey, I pray it's a long, smooth, safe, joy-filled ride for you, Jack. Well, guys, ain't nothing left to do but check out some tones.